A journey that begins far from the spotlight. Born on October 9th, 1987, in the tranquil town of Skersingen. If you like the video, please subscribe and comment. Switzerland. Barış Arduç was never expected to become one of Turkey's most adored actors. His early life, far from the blinding lights of fame, was shaped by family warmth, cultural transitions, and a sense of quiet observation that would later feed into his characters on screen. Barış is the middle child of his family. His mother, Gülay, and father, Erol Arduç, were of Turkish-Albanian heritage, tracing their roots to Artvin and Ordu provinces in Turkey. Although born abroad, Barış's identity was deeply tethered to Turkish culture. At age 8, his family made the pivotal move from Switzerland back to Turkey, just before the devastating 1999 Izmit earthquake that would later displace them again. "We were a middle-class family with dreams," Barış shared in an old interview. "There was never a thought of acting. Not then." Growing up between chaos and calm, when the 1999 earthquake hit Turkey, the Arduç family was living in Galkuk, near the epicenter of the disaster. The quake destroyed their neighborhood, forcing them to move to Bolu, then finally to Istanbul, where Barış spent the remainder of his adolescence. He describes his youth as one filled with simplicity and physicality. "There wasn't much television in my life as a child. I wasn't a boy who dreamed of spotlights. I loved movement, nature, sports," he once told Hürriyet newspaper. Indeed, Barış was no stranger to the field. From a young age, he excelled in multiple sports: swimming, volleyball, football, handball, diving, and kayaking. He earned a sports scholarship to Erciyes University in Kayseri, a move that briefly took him away from Istanbul. However, he soon realized it wasn't his path. After a year, he dropped out and returned to Istanbul, where destiny awaited. The Lifeguard years, a time of reflection. For nearly 8 years, Barış worked as a lifeguard in Sile, a coastal town on the Black Sea. This wasn't just a job, it was a period of immense personal growth. The responsibility taught him discipline, urgency, and the importance of remaining calm under pressure, traits that would later help him thrive in the chaos of the entertainment world. He was also a trained diver and held certification from the Turkish Underwater Sports Federation. These years, far removed from fame, gave him the groundedness fans now admire. "When I look back, I'm glad I didn't start acting earlier. The sea teaches you things no classroom can," he once said. Discovery by chance. The actor within everything changed when Barış met Ayla Algin, a veteran of Turkish theater, during a casual visit to a friend's rehearsal. Algin saw something in him, an intensity, a silent fire. She encouraged him to pursue acting professionally. "I didn't know how to act, but I was curious," Barış recounted. That curiosity led him to the Sudri Illicit Cultural Center, one of Turkey's most respected acting schools, where he enrolled in a comprehensive theatrical training program. He also trained at Ekol Drama, focusing on voice, movement, and character analysis. It was during this time that his natural talent for emotional expression, especially through silence, was honed. Barış wasn't a loud actor. He didn't need to be. His strength was his stillness, his timing, and his eyes. Early roles, a humble beginning. In 2011, Barış took his first steps into the world of Turkish television. His early appearances were mostly small roles in Küçük Hanımefendi, Dinle Sevgili, and Peace Yedilay. These shows didn't catapult him into fame, but they taught him how to survive on set, how to move with the camera, listen to direction, and build resilience in an industry that often demands too much, too fast. Critics didn't notice him at first, but directors did. He was professional, grounded, and most importantly, watchable. It was in Benim Aysin Yüzüm, 2012, that Barış played Ahmet, a deeply loyal footballer. The show became an underground hit in Turkey, especially in the Black Sea region. Trabzonspor fans, so touched by his character, even created a stadium banner in his honor, something rarely done for fictional characters. The breakout moment. Bugün Sarılisi. In 2013, Barış landed a more substantial role in Bugün Sarılisi, where he played Selim Bayraktar, a charming, yet emotionally scarred businessman. The role demanded more than he had ever done: love scenes, dramatic tension, family betrayal. Here, audiences began to pay attention. His chemistry with the lead actress was praised, and casting agents finally began to see Barış not just as background filler, but as a leading man in the making. To Wwe Now, he had developed a fan base, small, loyal, and deeply passionate. But he still hadn't reached the stardom that was just around the corner. Karalık Aşk. When everything changed, in 2015, BarışArduç was cast opposite Elçin Sengu in the romantic comedy Karalık Aşk, Love for Rent. The show became a massive national and international success. Barış's portrayal of Ömer Pliksi, a reclusive yet romantic shoe designer, struck a chord with viewers. He wasn't the loud, boisterous rom-com lead audiences were used to. Instead, he was nuanced, quiet, intense, and deeply charismatic. Turkish women swooned. Social media exploded. Memes, edits, fan pages. It was Barışmania. Karalık Aşk changed everything, Barış admitted. Suddenly, I wasn't just acting. I was being followed, dissected, idealized. He won 2 Golden Butterfly Awards for Best Actor and Best On-Screen Couple with Elçin Sengu in 2015 and 2016. At one point, he was Turkey's most Googled male actor. International fame and fanbase. The success of Karalık Aşk spilled beyond Turkey's borders. The series was translated into multiple languages and broadcast in the Middle East, Latin America, the Balkans, India, and even the Philippines. Barış gained an international fan base that still follows him closely on Instagram. His stoic but sensual screen presence resonated globally. In Brazil and Argentina, women reportedly learned Turkish phrases just to understand Ömer's dialogue in its original form. This global appeal marked a new chapter for Barış, not just as a national treasure, but as an international star of Turkish drama. His post-Karalık Aşk career strategy deep dive into Kuzgun and Alperslan. Why Barış avoids commercial fame traps. Inside his quiet marriage to Güps Özü. Life after Karalık Aşk. When stardom meets strategy. When Karalık Aşk ended in 2017, BarışArduç found himself at a crossroads. He could have followed the easy road, another romantic comedy, another heartthrob role. Instead, he turned toward darker, more emotionally complex characters. There's a temptation to stay where it's comfortable, he told GQ Turkey in a candid 2018 interview. But comfort never taught me anything. I don't want to be Turkey's pretty face. I want to be remembered as an actor. That choice to grow, rather than remain idolized, defined the next stage of his career. Kuzgun, 2019, the return of the antihero. In 2019, BarışArduç made a bold comeback with Kuzgun, a high-stakes, emotionally heavy series about a man seeking revenge for his father's betrayal. He played the title role, Kuzgun Sebesay, a tormented soul who returns to Istanbul after decades in exile. Kuzgun was nothing like Ömer from Karalık. He was dark, brooding, and at times emotionally violent. But Barış delivered a performance that shocked critics. The rawness, restraint, and intensity he brought to the role earned him the Best International Actor Award at the Beirut International Awards Festival, BIF, in 2019. This was the character I was waiting for, he told CNN Turk. Kuzgun allowed me to channel everything I'd learned, not just as an actor, but as a man who's known grief, loyalty, and survival. A transition to historical dramas. Alperslan. By 2021, BarışArduç had another transformation ahead of him, this time quite literally. He stepped into the role of Sultan Alperslan, the second ruler of the Seljuk Empire, in the series Alperslan, Bayak Selçuklu. Taking on a historical figure was no small feat. He trained in swordsmanship, horseback riding, military posture, and ancient languages. The role demanded both physical stamina and emotional authority, and Barış delivered with surgical precision. The show became one of TRT's biggest hits, and Barış was lauded not just for his physical command of the character, but also for the emotional gravitas he brought to a man torn between state, destiny, and conscience. Sultan Alparslan had a weight I had never carried before, he said. When I wore the armor, I didn't just feel like a soldier. I felt history pressing down on me. Declining roles, the projects he walked away from. Unlike many actors who take every opportunity that comes with fame, Barış is notoriously selective. He has turned down major roles in high-budget dramas because they didn't resonate with his values or artistic goals. There's a difference between being visible and being valuable, he once stated at the Istanbul Cinema Panel in 2020. I don't want to dilute myself. This strategic restraint has protected his brand. While he may not constantly be in the limelight, every time he returns, it's with a role that matters, not just one that markets the quiet romance. Gupsozi. While his on-screen romance with Elsin Senga made headlines worldwide, his real-life love story is with Gupsozi, actress, screenwriter, and comedian. The two met on the set of Deliha in 2014, where sparks quietly flew. What's remarkable about their relationship is its privacy. Despite living under media scrutiny, they've kept their romance away from drama, red carpets, and tabloids. They were together for over 6 years before marrying in a small, secret wedding in July 2020 in Sezim. Barış wore a simple white shirt. Gups wore no designer dress. The ceremony had no press, no magazine cover, no celebrity parade. Just loved at IN 2022, they welcomed their daughter Janasya, again with total discretion. In an interview with Posta, Barış said, "We love deeply, but we don't perform our love for others. Gups is the most talented person I know. She's not behind me, she's beside me." Fame versus privacy. Barış's approach to fame is paradoxical. He's everywhere, yet nowhere. He rarely gives interviews. His social media is sparse, often filled with minimal captions or personal snapshots rather than glamorous event photos. His motto seems to be, "Let the work speak." He once said to Lafacil Arabia, "The moment I started treating acting like a job, not a performance, the fame became background noise." Unlike many Turkish celebrities who lean into endorsement deals, luxury brands, or reality shows, Barış has kept a low-profile luxury lifestyle, grounded, personal, and fiercely guarded. His lifestyle off-screen. Barış's off-screen life is a mix of athleticism, art, and introspection. He's an avid diver, a boxing enthusiast, and a nature lover. He has said he often escapes to Bozcaada or Göcek, where he can disappear without cameras. He's known for spending weekends sailing, reading Turkish poetry, or cooking regional dishes with his wife. He enjoys photography and has a keen eye for portrait work. Several of his black and white landscape photographs were showcased in a private art event in Istanbul in 2023. He doesn't own 10 cars or flash watches. His signature style is minimal, neutral tones, linen shirts, worn in jeans. You're more likely to find him in a bookstore in Karaköy than at a glitzy rooftop bar. Personal philosophy. A man of silence. At the heart of BarışArduç is a man who values quiet over noise, depth over display, and consistency over chaos.
He's often quoted saying,
"I do not want to become the character people expect. I want to surprise them. That's where the thrill lies." This philosophy has guided his career choices, his relationships, his parenting, and his place in Turkish culture. While some stars burn bright and fade, Barış seems to glow steadily, slow, warm, and enduring. Silver screen steps, Mutluluk Zamani and beyond. While Barış Arduç had already cemented his place on television, his move into cinema was a strategic leap. In 2017, he starred alongside Elçin Sengu once again in Mutluluk Zamani, Time of Happiness, a romantic comedy that gave fans a second dose of their favorite couple, this time on the big screen. Barış played Mert, a charming yet emotionally detached man who learns the value of vulnerability through love. The role seemed familiar, romantic, suave, but it was more layered than his TV persona. His performance received critical and audience praise, with many noting his subtle ability to shift between humor and drama. The film's soundtrack, visuals, and the on-screen chemistry with Elçin made it a box office success. But Barış, once again, had bigger aspirations. He wasn't satisfied with commercial comfort. He wanted character depth, Netflix and global reach. Club the Club. In 2021, Barış made a bold and unexpected move. He joined the cast of Netflix's acclaimed Turkish period drama, Club the Club, set in 1950s Istanbul. The show told the story of a Jewish mother reunited with her troubled son while working in a nightclub filled with secrets, politics, and music. Barış played Fistik İzmit, rebellious and seductive cabaret singer with deep emotional scars. The character was bold, morally ambiguous, and dramatically different from any role he had played before. Wearing retro suits, eyeliner, and slicked-back hair, Barış transformed himself. Fans were shocked, in the best way. Critics applauded his risk-taking and emotional vulnerability. In a behind-the-scenes video, Barış shared, "İzmit taught me not to be afraid of ugliness. Not every character has to be liked. They have to be real." The series was streamed in over 50 countries and trended on Netflix charts in Europe, the Middle East, and Latin America. For many global viewers, the club was their first introduction to Barış, and they loved him. International appeal, the global Barışmania. Barış Arduç's charm is not limited to Turkey. With his intense gaze, strong jawline, and soulful acting, he has become a global Turkish drama ambassador. Here are just a few examples of his international reach. In Brazil, fans organized a film festival weekend just to watch his Turkish projects together. With subtitles in India, Karalık Aşk was broadcast on Turkish drama channels, and Barış's Hindi-speaking fan pages post daily photo edits and quotes in the Arab world. He is often referred to as the Turkish prince on social media, thanks to his refined mannerisms and passionate roles in Italy. A fan named her fashion boutique, Ömer Boutique, in honor of his Karalık Aşk character. He is particularly admired for being low-profile and scandal-free, which enhances his reputation as a grounded, respectable figure in a fame-obsessed world. The perfect behind the camera. While fans see a calm, composed Barış on screen, behind the scenes, he is known as a meticulous professional. Directors often describe him as disciplined, arrives early to set, prepared and physically conditioned, quiet, focuses deeply during shoots, doesn't speak much between takes, analytical, asks questions about script logic, character arcs, and emotional motivation, resilient, performs physically demanding scenes without complaint. On the set of Alperslan, Barış reportedly trained for 6 hours a day, horseback riding in the morning, sword choreography by midday, and script work at night. The costume designers had to custom-fit armor for his movement flexibility. Even his co-stars have acknowledged his professionalism. Fahri Evcen, who played Aka Hatton opposite him in Alperslan, said, "He's not just present. He's immersed. You have to match his energy or get left behind." His team also revealed that Barış personally reviews every scene shot during historical battle sequences, asking for reshoots if necessary. Fan culture and social media love, even though Barış keeps a modest online presence, his fans are hyperactive and creative. On Instagram and X, formerly Twitter, There are over 10,000 fan accounts dedicated to his characters, style, and daily life. Some examples of how his fandom expresses their love. Fan fiction. Thousands of short stories, novels, and fantasy crossovers starring him exist in English, Spanish, Arabic, and Turkish. Birthday tributes. On October 9th each year, global fans coordinate hashtags and donate to charity in his name, especially cancer foundations and animal shelters. Merchandise. Custom jewelry, tea, shirts, notebooks, and perfumes inspired by Barış's characters are sold on platforms like Etsy and Redbubble. Barış Arduç Day events. Every year in cities like Cairo, Jakarta, and Sao Paulo, fan groups rent cinemas or cafes to host themed parties, screenings, and cosplay events. What makes this fan culture special is that Barış never exploits it. He doesn't sell merch. He doesn't promote fandoms. Yet he always responds with kindness, sometimes reposting fan art or simply sending thank you notes through his agency. Public speaking and advocacy. Despite being introverted, Barış has stepped up for important causes. Over the past 5 years, he has quietly become a symbol of integrity in Turkish entertainment. Mental health awareness, ethical media consumption, education for underprivileged children, animal rights and adoption. He rarely speaks at glitzy galas, but prefers TED-style charity events and university forums. In 2022, he delivered a keynote at Istanbul Bilgi University titled The Power of Saying No, where he spoke about how turning down roles shaped his career more than accepting them. He told students, "Success is not in how often you appear, it's in how clearly you appear when you do." Thank you, guys.